Life is too short to play small. You were designed for big things. Welcome to the Big Design Energy Podcast. I am your host, Marissa, and I am so happy to have you here with me. If you're curious about what it would look like for you to live a life truly extraordinary instead of settling for it could be better or it's not that bad, then join me as I share strategies, spiritual practices, and real-world examples to get you inspired and ready to make the life you dream of a reality. Welcome to the Big Design Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Marissa, and today we are going to have a quick reminder, a quick little session together for when you feel like you do not belong. When you feel like you do not belong, the loneliness, the separation is overwhelming. These can lead to more feelings of being isolated, like you're not worthy, like you are not enough of whatever to be where you want to be, to belong, to connect, to share in the magic you feel like you're missing out on. This is a reminder that you belong. You always have belonged and you always will belong. The feeling of not belonging, I feel, is embedded in our DNA, in our psyche, in that mental loop, the subconscious that plays. Well, you are not smart enough, you do not belong here. You are not pretty enough, you do not belong here. You are not enough, you do not belong. I believe we are all one. We are all beautiful little reflections of Source. We are all one. How could you not belong when everything is you and you are everything? The feeling of not belonging is it's a trap, it's a prison. It's a way to keep you down. It's a way of making you feel isolated. Reality is, you do belong. And reality is, you won't feel like you don't belong forever. You are not the only one who feels like you do not belong, like you are not worthy of belonging. But our mind tells us that. Our mind tells us that we are the only ones who feel this way. No one will understand how I feel. No one understands how I'm feeling. You just don't get it. You don't understand. No one does. They don't know my story. They don't know this. They don't know what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, the situations that happen. But if everyone feels like they do not belong at some point, then that is complete and utter bullshit. Because collectively feeling like we do not belong, collectively feeling like no one understands us, means we are all feeling that. We might not all feel that at the same time. That might not be our reality, our experience in the moment. But how could you not belong if everyone feels like they don't belong, like they're the odd one out at some point? We are all unique and we all have such beautiful individual ways of expressing ourselves. But yet we want to be liked and loved and appreciated and respected and cared for by others. At our core, we want to belong. I want you to not lose yourself in the need, the desire, the craving, the pang in your chest, the overwhelming seas of not belonging. It's not true. You belong. I promise you belong here. You are here for a reason. You have special gifts, special talents, that unique way of expressing yourself. Don't dim your light. Try and fit in, copy, paste, do what everyone else is doing so you can feel like you belong. Because if you're searching for that feeling, that validation of belonging within a crowd, within a sea of people who who don't have the intentionality behind their actions, who don't have the awareness to live their life how they want to, then that's exactly where you will find yourself. Going through the motions, doing what everyone else is doing, so you can belong, so you can go on living life barely noticed, barely acknowledged, barely living. take away from this that it doesn't matter if you are starting out. It doesn't matter if you are going through a major shift or you've reached levels of success wilder than your wildest dreams just a year, 2 years, 5 years ago. Those feelings, these limiting beliefs of I do not belong, I am not worthy, will come up. And it's not your fault. It does not mean that you have done anything wrong. All those thoughts mean are simply the programming, the backdrop of your brain as a human, as this species, as it was programmed to worry about belonging, worry if they are enough, is simply running in the background. But you do belong. You have the power to create your reality, a reality so beautiful. You belong here. There are no coincidences. You came here for a reason. You chose your life, your circumstances, the state of the world. You were ready for the challenge, for the trials, for the struggles, for the insight, for the joy, for the awakening, to remember all of the beauty that is within you. It's easy to learn a lesson after making a mistake or falling down. It's one thing to hear a story of, don't do this, or this happened to me, and then I lost everything, or this addiction overcame my life, whatever. But experiencing it yourself really lands. So if you are in a spot where you feel, woe is me, why is this happening to me? Know you have the power to change. You can start with the simplest of ways. Instead of letting one little hiccup multiply into like a emergency room hospitalization. Have your hiccup, say excuse me, and smile. Move on. That's what the thought, the feeling, the belief of I do not belong is. It's a little hiccup in your day. Don't let it overrun your life. I promise you belong. Take the time to care for yourself, however you enjoy caring for yourself. Meditating, looking at the sunset, going for a walk, reading a book, spending time at a cafe, playing with your animals, your puppy. smelling the roses. Take the time. Trust and know you belong. Thank you for choosing to spend your time here with me today. If this episode and the message I shared resonated with you and you would like to support the podcast, please share on your social media, share with your friends and family, rate, review, and subscribe. And remember, you have the power already within you to create the life you desire. Until next episode.